Hello, Six Block, U.S. government students. This is Miss Anderson sending you a little video message from my day away from class. So Miss Brown and I were talking yesterday afternoon and realized that we did not tell you that we were both going to be gone today. So I'm sorry that we didn't give you guys that information when we saw you the other day, but now you're gonna be working today to get some stuff done without us, and I have no doubt you guys can get it done. So I know it's a little weird that I'm sending you a video message. I'm not sure if you've ever had a teacher do this before, but US government, as you know, is a little bit weird, and the way we do things is sometimes a little bit strange. And so, because we didn't prepare you that we were going to be gone, and because the stuff we have to do today is so important, I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys lots of clear instructions so that you were aware of what's coming up and so that you felt like you had the information you needed to do what you need to do today. But because you're sixth block, I have no doubt you're going to be able to take care of it. So good. Okay, well, let me do this. There's going to be 2 videos, okay? So this is the first of 2. So lucky you, you get to see me twice. And so this first video is before you guys gavel into session. It's before the chair takes over. And then the second video will be explaining some details about full session that we'll get to a little bit later. Okay, so you guys know that you know how to run things. Kira is going to be the chair today. I talked to her about it this morning. She's all set, unless, of course, Kira's absent today, and then I'll find somebody else to do it. But my plan tonight, as I'm making this, is to ask Kira to do it. And the reason is because Kira is responsible and very good at chairing, but also because Kira is going to be in sort of a special position today, as I will explain in just a second. So you're going to gavel into session as normal, go through the agenda, talk about all the items on the agenda, but I'm going to kind of front load you with a little bit of information about the items on the agenda. So Kira is going to introduce it, she's going to go over it, and then she is going to give you guys a reflection, or I'm sorry, then after the agenda is approved, you're going to do a reflection. That reflection activity has to be done before you leave class today. So use your 30 minutes. You should have no problem getting it done in 30 minutes if you're focused and working. But when you're done with that reflection activity and you've handed it in to the substitute, then you guys are going to actually get a list of all of the bills that were both passed in committee, but also the bills that failed in committee. Then you're going to break into caucuses. And the main work of you guys in your caucuses today will be for you guys to make recommendations to the Speaker of the House about which bills you want to see at full session. Okay? So this is where Kira comes into play. Rules Committee this morning gave their recommendations about the bills that are going to move on to full session. Just like in the regular legislature, the Speaker of the House gets to decide, no matter what the committees decide, the Speaker of the House ultimately gets to choose which bills go to the full session. And that's the same for you guys. We're modeling it just like it happens, which gives the Speaker of the House a lot of power. The Rules Committee, however, as well as members of the class, can work to influence the Speaker of the House through lobbying efforts. Again, there's that lobbying word, okay? So you guys are going to break into your 2 separate caucuses, the Democrats and the Republicans, and you guys are going to look at all of the bills that were passed through full session and those that also failed. I'm sorry, the committee hearings, the ones that passed in committee and the ones that failed. And you guys are going to make recommendations. Rules Committee met this morning. They gave their initial recommendations. Your recommendations will be given to Brittany, your Speaker of the House, before she makes her final decision. And then whatever decision she makes tonight, those bills will move on. Because of the limited amount of time we're going to have at full session, and I'll talk more about that later in class, because of the limited amount of time we're going to have at full session, only about 13 at most, 13 bills can move forward. but it can really be any 13 bills. We had something like 23 bills, I think, that passed in committee. So Brittany could choose all 13 from that list of 23, but she can also choose up to 4 dead bills. So you guys need in your caucuses to look at every single one of those bills and say, which bills do you think would be the best bills to move forward? The criteria that I recommend that your caucuses use for making your recommendations includes which bills are the most debatable, like which ones are kids going to find the most interesting at full session? Which bills do you think are particularly interesting or topical? You can use as criteria bills that passed. If your caucus thinks that really only bills that passed their committee should move forward, then you can talk about that and use that as a criteria. Whatever you guys determine and decide is the right criteria for passing bills forward, it's totally up to you. But your caucus leaders, and in your classroom, I can't remember who the caucus leaders are, but the Republican and the Democratic caucus leader, raise your hand right now. Who's the caucus leader? Everybody look around, look away from the screen. I can't see what's happening. Raise your hand if you're the caucus leader. Okay. If the caucus leader is absent today, then somebody else is going to have to step up and do it, because I don't know who's there. All right. The caucus leaders are then going to take these sheets and they're going to give, each of them is going to give one clean copy of that recommendation sheet to Kira. So at the end of class, Kira will have a Democrat's recommendation sheet and the Republican caucus recommendation sheet. Then Kira's job will be to bring these recommendation sheets to Brittany, and then Brittany will use them tonight when she makes her final decision. All of the government teachers are gone today because we're at a curriculum day, which makes it kind of part of the reason why I'm weirdly making this video for you, because you don't really have anyone to go ask questions of. But we met as a rules committee this morning, so Kira knows exactly how this is supposed to go. So just talk to her if you have any questions. She can clarify those with you. If something is confusing to you, don't worry. Do your best. Respond to the questions for each other, and I'm sure it's going to be fine. Like, you guys are smart. You know what you're doing. You're 6th block. Like, Ms. Brown and I don't worry about 6th block very much because you guys are really capable, okay? And because you guys have Prob Deep in class. Let's be honest, Dollywall, you're what's holding this class together. Isn't that right? All right. So you all knew I had to make a special shout out to Prob Deep. Like, I can't let a video go by, a class go by without giving a special shout out to Prob Deep there. Okay. Okay. So that's what the caucuses should be about. That's what you guys are going to focus on. You're going to caucus for about 30 minutes. When you're done caucusing, you have to come back to class. The caucus leaders are going to give those sheets to Kira, and then you'll have video numero dos, where I will talk about full session, because I suspect that what you guys are wondering is, okay, so bills are moving on to full session, but what's the deal with full session? What are the details? The next video, I'm going to give you guys an overview of full session. I'll give you kind of some of the, hopefully respond to some of the big questions that you guys might have, some of the questions that kids had in other classes, so I predict you guys will have those same questions. So as soon as this video is done, Kira's going to get up, she's going to gavel you into session, you're going to go over the agenda, do everything the way you guys know how to do it. Then you guys are going to do your reflection sheets. Then you're going to get into your caucuses and do your bill recommendations. After that, you'll see me again, and you'll get to see the second video, which is, I would venture to say, even more exciting than the first video. I'll have a prop in the second video. It's very exciting. So look forward to that. All right. Okay. Thank you, 6th block. You know I adore you. You're wonderful. I am sad I'm not going to be with you today, but I will see you on Monday. Okay? All right. Bye. Or until later. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Bye.